We're going to talk about what the hell do I do? And there's actually a lot that you have to factor in this week. So don't just check out this video. There's actually like 4 more to do because there's a lot of hell that we'll have to do over the next couple of days. So you're Fauzi, and I'm giving myself the moniker now of like Dr. Nick. I feel like, hi everybody, because I love injuries for some reason, and I seem to know a lot about them. So our first player that we're talking about is Ja Morant, our beloved franchise player from the Memphis Grizzlies, who has unfortunately injured his hip going for a layup, I believe, or dunk, and landing awkwardly on his hip. First off, I'm just going to put this out there. We have both probably spoken about this multiple times. This is the style of play that he does. This is his this is the risk with Ja Morant. Highly entertaining player, highly productive player, and probably gets hurt because he crashes to the ground. And he's done it again, unfortunately, this season. So he has a right hip injury, and this happened on Wednesday. So Wednesday is almost a week ago now, and he's had some imaging done. So when you have imaging, it's go for X-ray, rule out fractures, go for MRIs and ultrasounds, depending on what it is, to figure out if it's muscle, ligaments, tendons, blah blah blah. There is no diagnosis at this point. He currently just has a sore right hip, which is encouraging because that would mean that it might just be like a sprain or bruising to the area. But there is no timeline right now. In fact, they're awaiting a timeline to see his path to recovery. Now, this impacts if you hold him or not. Well, you hold an MVP candidate, that's usually an obvious thing to do. But in his case, do you really expect him? And I asked you this question with Paolo, but we'll ask it again. Do you really expect him to last for the rest of the season once he comes back without getting injured again?
If I was a Jarman owner, which I am not, I would be shopping him right now. Yeah. And you're shopping him on potential, like we spoke about just before. He's actually having a down year. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
actually
well,
having a down year right now statistically, and that matters. That in a fantasy perspective, that you're making decisions based on statistics. He's shooting worse, he's scoring less, his assists are up, his rebounds are down. He's making 25% of 3 pointers. Yeah, okay, on 4 attempts, making one basically. He's not a fantasy stud that we all sort of attach to his name, and maybe what he was. I'm just having a look here about 3 years ago. Yeah. Okay. He was. You mentioned MVP candidate. I would not say Jalen Moran right now. He's an MVP candidate. Yeah. He could be, but I think I was all for the narrative. Yeah. Of like the Memphis Grizzlies coming back and just everyone's healthy and let's smash it back, get back to the 50 win sort of category. It's not happening right now. Clearly because of injuries is a big part, but there's, I guess, in part, the last few years has been extremely distracting for him. But I guess getting to the part here of him as a fantasy player, I think you try and shop him. If you
mm,
could get something for him, I'll go back to. I feel like I could use this every week now. Yeah, the best ability is availability, right? And I guess I think you could shop him even if you shopped him for someone that was not a real fancy name. Okay, I don't know top of my head who that could be, but that's available and playing Ja Moran right now. Look, I'm definitely not saying that you should be, just sitting tight on me. I wouldn't even be stashing him in the injury spot. In that sort of, I'd be actively shopping him.
nice. I agree with you. Just because, not because of the injury, but just because of who he is. Unfortunately, he is a high energy, high reckless player, and I think most people had predicted these injuries accumulating as time goes on.